It was a scorching summer day, and the heat filled every corner of Leah's home. The fans hummed softly, but the air inside remained warm and stifling. Leah lived with her mother, father, and younger brother Jay. Her grandmother, who had become old and frail, also stayed with them, spending most of her days resting in bed. Leah's grandmother had been growing weaker, her energy fading along with her fading memories. She often spoke to the photograph of her late husband that sat on the bedside table, talking to him as if he were still alive. "Oh, my dear," she would whisper. "The well, the bucket, it's all still there." One afternoon, Leah and her mother brought some food and water to her grandmother's room. The old woman stirred, her eyes half closed but her voice firm. "Leah, go to the well. Bring me water in the bucket," she requested in a faint but insistent tone. "There's no well here, Ma," Leah's mother replied gently. "We live in the town now. We have clean water from the tap." Leah's mother turned to her daughter, speaking softly. "She's not thinking clearly anymore, Leah. The heat and her illness are making her confused." But her grandmother wasn't finished. "No, not this water," she murmured. "The well at the farm. That water will make me better. Bring it to me, please." Leah's mother sighed. "We can't go to the old farm, Ma. It's too close to the volcano. There's smoke and fire there, and the soldiers are guarding the roads." Her grandmother didn't seem to hear her. "Please, the water from the well," she whispered again, her voice trailing off into a desperate plea. Leah felt a strange pull in her chest. She looked at her mother and said, I'll go to the farm and bring her the water." Her mother's eyes widened. "Leah, no. It's dangerous near the volcano." But Leah's resolve was firm. "I know the way. I'll take Jay with me. We'll be careful." The next morning, Leah and Jay woke early. Leah packed a small bag with some bread, sausage, and a bottle of water. The sun was already burning in the sky as they set off down the dusty road toward their grandmother's old farm. As they walked, the air grew thick with dust, making it difficult to breathe. When they reached the checkpoint, a soldier stopped them. "Where are you two headed on such a hot day?" he asked, looking curious. "We're going to our grandmother's farm," Leah explained. "She's ill, and she believes the water from the well will help her." The soldier chuckled. "Magic water, huh? Well, if you find any, be sure to bring me some too." They continued on, stopping at a small house near a bridge to rest and eat their lunch. A friendly woman lived there, and she came out to greet them with a smile, her small red dog wagging its tail by her side. "Where are you kids going in this heat?" the woman asked. "Our grandmother's farm," Jay replied. "She's sick and needs water from the well." "Well, you're welcome to take some water from my well," the woman offered kindly. "It's fresh and cool." Leah considered it, glancing at her brother. "That's a good idea, Jay. It's so hot. Maybe we should take some water from here." But Jay shook his head. "No, Leah. Grandmother wants the water from her farm. We need to get it from there." Reluctantly, Leah agreed, and they set off again. The landscape around them was dry and barren, with no houses or animals in sight. The sound of the wind whistling through the empty fields gave them an eerie feeling. "What's that sound?" Jay asked nervously. "It's just the wind," Leah replied, trying to keep her voice steady. But Jay wasn't convinced. "It sounds like someone calling us. Or maybe a ghost." Leah laughed. "There are no ghosts, Jay. Let's keep going." At last they reached the old farm. The house was in ruins, and the land around it was overgrown with dry grass. The well stood in the center of the yard, its cover broken and the rope frayed. Jay spotted an orange tree nearby and eagerly ran over to pick a few. "Look, Leah. Oranges. But no ghosts." Leah smiled but focused on the well. They had come all this way for the water. The well smelled stale, and when Jay lifted the cover, the water appeared murky and uninviting. "This water is bad, Leah," Jay said, wrinkling his nose. "We still need to take some," Leah insisted. "It's what Grandmother asked for." They grabbed the rope together and began pulling. The bucket was heavy, and they struggled to lift it. When they finally brought it to the surface, they were both shocked. Inside the bucket, beneath the dirt and water, lay something glittering. "Gold!" Jay exclaimed in disbelief. "These are Grandfather's coins." Leah stared at the bucket, stunned. "I remember now. Grandmother used to tell us about these. She said Grandfather hid them somewhere safe." The siblings hurriedly packed the gold into their bags, covering it with the oranges they had picked. They started their journey home, but just before crossing the bridge, they encountered a group of rough-looking boys. "What's in the bucket?" one of the boys demanded, eyeing them suspiciously. Jay tried to stay calm. "Just some oranges." The boys moved closer, ready to cause trouble, when suddenly the small red dog came running from the nearby house, barking loudly. The boys hesitated, and before long, the woman from the house appeared, scaring the group away. Grateful, Leah and Jay continued on their way. At the checkpoint, the soldier saw their bucket. "No magic water, I see," he joked. "No," Leah smiled, "but we have some magic oranges." When they finally arrived home, their grandmother was lying in bed, her eyes barely open. "Is that my bucket of water?" she asked weakly. "No," Leah said softly, sitting by her bedside. "But we found something even more precious. Grandfather's gold." Their grandmother smiled for the first time in days, her eyes resting on the photograph of her late husband. "He always knew how to take care of us." The room was filled with laughter, joy, and relief, the heavy heat of the day no longer so unbearable. Just then, a soft sound echoed through the window. Leah and Jay exchanged glances. "Is it the wind?" Jay asked. Leah smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe it's Grandfather watching over us."